morning, everyone. This is Athletes Incorporated. You can catch us on ibtv.us. You can also pick us up on Roku and YouTube. Please do that. Comments, anything that you like, anything that you don't like, please let us know. First segment, we're going to talk about the NFL. Start off with the Combine. What's going on with the Combine right now, Trey?
So, first off, folks, I want to give you guys a little bit of knowledge of the Combine and just understanding what's going on right now. March 14th is the new league year for the NFL. So, with that comes new deals, comes trades, and pretty much comes the new talent, which is the Combine, or I like to call it the Underwear Olympics. Just to go over some quick things, if you guys don't know, Marcus Peters has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams, still on his rookie deal. What do you think about that?
Well, it just shows that if you have talent, they put up with whatever you do.
Right.
This young man has been a problem since he was at the University of Washington. Right. Now he actually takes his uniform off and leaves the field during the game because he's angry.
Right.
But he still can play that corner as good as anybody.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So they will take a chance on him. Going to the Los Angeles Rams is the best thing for him because Wade Phillips knows how to deal with those kind of athletes, obviously. Wade knows how to deal with him. So if anyone can help him, if anyone can make him something, it'll be Wade Phillips.
Absolutely. And just keeping that topic, guys, there's another all-pro corner who's being linked to Los Angeles Rams right now. His name's Aqib Talib. So you're looking at Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib playing with Wade Phillips, and Wade Phillips loves Aqib Talib. He's been on record saying that's his favorite player. They're going to have the best secondary in the league next year. The defense on the Los Angeles Rams just got a whole lot better. And, I mean, they're an early favorite to go deep in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Because you have to remember, folks, when you get an old school coach like Wade Phillips, they'll all tell you the same thing. You got to have some good kids on that defense with some larceny in their heart. And those are definitely two that have some larceny in their heart. It's also important to remember, folks, that the Combine is before that 14th.
Correct.
When they start finding it.
Correct.
Combine actually starts March 2nd through the 5th.
Right.
And it's so to show you how great and important defensive backs are, folks, on the 2nd, which is the first day, we have running backs, offensive linemen, and special teams guys. The 3rd, quarterbacks, wide receivers, and tight ends. The 4th, defensive line and linebackers. On the last day of the Combine, folks, it's completely DBs, defensive backs. That's how important they have become on the landscape of professional football. Because with these high-powered offenses and these up-tempo, if you don't have DBs and you don't have at least, well, it used to be that you just had, people would go into the nickel.
Yeah.
Now you go into the dime, and some of them actually go to the dime plus.
Yeah, exotic. All these exotic packages.
So if you and you have to have those kind of athletes in order to keep that up. So defensive backs are still really really at a premium. More than 300 young men are invited to the Combine, folks. Now, while that might seem like a lot, you have to think each Division I team is allotted 85 scholarships. And between the walk-on that they have, a little bit more, there's about 100 young men that you carry. That's only 3 teams.
I know.
And only 300 young men get invited.
So somebody's getting snubbed.
Somebody's going lots of people getting snubbed. But even more so than that is what I tried to tell young men when I was head coach at a small college. You've got to get your degree. You've got to get something out of this because the opportunity or the chance to play professional sports and get paid for it, slim, fat, and none.
Yeah.
So you're talking about all conference players. You're talking about right up the road here, Philip Lindsay, who broke all kind of records for the University of Colorado.
All-time leading rusher.
All-time leading rusher. And don't forget, Rashaan Salam won the Heisman Trophy. He broke that record. He was not invited to the Combine, folks. Not invited to the Combine.
And was a Belikov finalist, too.
Yes.
So he was, by his peers and the sports writers, he was ranked as one of the best running backs in the country.
But he is not he's not invited. In fact, only one young man from Colorado State who was a finalist for the Blitnikoff. That's the wide receiver.
Michael Gallup. Folks, check out Michael Gallup. YouTube his highlights.
He was invited, and then we have the defensive back Isaiah from University of Colorado. So only 2 kids of all the kids in Colorado were invited to the combine. That's not to say that you won't make a team, because there's lots of unrestricted, undrafted, uncombined. Now, besides the combine, folks, what a lot of people don't understand, for all those kids that we're talking about, like Philip Lindsay, they have what they call a pro day. And the University of Colorado will have a pro day. Colorado State University will have a pro day. On those pro days, folks, also, the small school kids who they think have the talent, the ability, they will come down. So let's say at University of Colorado's pro day, a CSU Pueblo kid will probably come run. But the people tell them, Trey, about how the people get enamored with the different disciplines that they have at the pro day.
Well, I call it the Underwear Olympics, and everybody is going to get very enamored and very excited about the physical specimens. They get weighted, they get heighted, they run the 40, they do the bench press, they do the broad jump, they do the long jump, they do skill drill. So, putting all that together can be overwhelming for the scouts and the GMs around the league. I actually had a question for you, and I thought about it in the car. A lot of this stuff doesn't matter, once you're putting the pads on. But if there's one thing in the combine you want the listeners to look at and say, hey, this is going to transfer to play on the field. Is there anything that...
Well, the only thing that for me that transfers is strictly to the play on the field, and this goes back to Al Davis with the Raiders. Speed.
Okay.
Speed. The speed will transfer. There is no bench press contest out there.
Right.
When you look at some of the athletes, you look at the greatest, arguably one of the greatest DBs, Woodson, who won the only defensive player ever to win the Heisman Trophy.
Right.
When you see him take off his jersey, he's not built like Hercules.
No.
He's not built like Hercules. Those things don't translate to you being a great football player.
Or a great athlete.
Exactly. And that's what they're looking for, is a great athlete. So how high you can jump, how fast you can run, and how strong you are. Those are the things. Of course, they do the agility drills. If you can catch the football.
Right.
They do all these, run through cones and different things. But a lot of that doesn't translate. And then when you look at some of the great players, they didn't do well at the combine.
You're right.
Because they're football players. They're not necessarily a product of a combine robot.
Right.
You can get somebody ready for that. But in terms of them being able to play football, there's a whole lot more to it. It also, the combine doesn't go through or isn't a place where they say they can test the intelligence of the person.
Yeah, they do have intelligence tests.
But they really don't. Either they don't test or they don't really care that much about the character.
You're right.
Because the fact of the matter is, we still have too many of the young men who are getting involved who, some of them, you just have to say, are mentally ill.
Yeah.
Some of the things that they continue to do, but they've been allowed to do this pretty much from the time they were in Little League.
Right.
Because they're a great football player.
And that brings up a great point, folks. At the Combine is actually the first time where the teams and the GMs, the scouts, are actually going to meet with the players and the agents. So it's the Combine is one of the most important things, in the NFL. So it's I'm excited about it. Is there anybody who you think it's going to make or break their draft stock at the Combine?
I don't think the things that make and break their draft stock.
Yeah.
The Combine has become just a great entertainment.
Yeah.
I think what makes or breaks their draft stock is from the time the graduation period was the end of this football season to what they've done off the field.
I agree
If
with
they've
you.
been and done anything, any kind of sexual harassment, as we know now, any kind of DUIs, anything drug related, that's what brings the draft stock down.
Yeah. I agree with you, but I think Lamar Jackson, he's the quarterback for Louisville. I think if he goes out and has a great showing, then I think he's a player that we're going to see his draft stocks and go up. He was slated as a round 2 pick. And I think if he goes out there, runs the 40, does everything he needs to do, he's going to be a round 1 pick in the late 30s, late 20s. So I agree with you, but I think there's some players out there, there's some gems that I think they're going to raise their draft stock because people get so enamored with the Combine. But folks, we're going to wrap it up here, and next we're going to finish up with the Olympics in segment 2, and we're going to try to talk a little bit about the Jonathan Martin situation. So stay with us.